What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another podcast from the Sports Scoop. Today, once again, we are continuing our Buster Boom series with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to talk about them and discuss and analyze them for the 2020 NFL season. So if you are a Bucs fan or even an NFL fan, make sure to stay tuned for more. If you enjoy sports content, Bay Buccaneers, Ali Marpet.
I'm doing well.
I'm someone that knows the game pretty well.
Drafted third overall by the Boston Celtics.
Buccaneers for the 2020 NFL season. And yeah, this is a really, really good team. They really were reformed in the offseason. So this should be a fun one to talk about. I think there are several different ways this team could go. But if you are new to the Buster Boom series, this is where we talk about and analyze each NFL team for the 2020 NFL season. So we talk about key players. We talk about free agency, also trades. And then we talk about their draft. And then we also talk about their record. So it's kind of just analyzing them, fully for this season. So, let's get straight into it with key players. So key player number one, kind of also free agent number one, but I feel like he has to be in this key player section. Tom Brady, the best quarterback to ever play the game. Pretty not shocking. I think people knew it was coming, but I don't know. The Buccaneers, kind of surprising. People were wondering why the Buccaneers, because they haven't really been on the map. And so Tom Brady, this guy is a team that will carry teams to an extent where he can win Super Bowls so many times. And in New England, he didn't have really any good receivers and, not like top league receivers. Julian Edelman was a really good receiver, and I love Julian Edelman. I think, he was a really good receiver, underrated receiver, but, he's going on to two of the best receivers in the league. He has two of the best receivers on the league on his team. Chris Godwin, last year, the dark horse of all of the NFL, having a breakout season like no other. And then, Mike Evans, who's just, a big playmaker and a go up and catch the ball player. So Tom Brady has really everything here. He has a good offensive line. With Ali Marpet, they drafted Tristan Wirfs. And he's kind of set up for success. Pretty well, throwing for just shy or just above 4,000 yards with 4,057, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a pass rating of 88. So, you can kind of – that's not as good as prior seasons. Obviously, he's digressed a bit. And, Tom Brady is always going to be the best quarterback, and I think he's not really going to stop here in Tampa Bay.
I don't think he will be bad. Don't get me wrong. What I'm going to say may trigger a lot of fans. I don't think he's going to be bad. However, I think him coming to Tampa Bay will have a negative impact on Mike Evans, because Mike Evans is a player who was getting the ball launched to him every play of the game because of his big playability. Tom Brady is a more clinical quarterback who will throw the ball into tight areas much better than Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston held the record for interceptions, so that's why they will be better with Tom Brady. I'm really interested to see the Brady-Gronk dynamic somewhere else, and I'm also very interested to see, is it coaching or is it Tom Brady? These are questions that haven't been answered before, and we could see one of the best rebuilds of a team before our eyes, or we could see two guys just come in here to retire in Florida. Who knows?
Yeah. Now to player number two, we have their wide receiver we touched on earlier, Mike Evans. Last year, catching for 1,100 yards, average of 17 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns. So, kind of up there with, 8 touchdowns is actually quite a bit. And it's really impressive, especially for Jameis Winston, as you said, throwing the most interceptions last year. He was a risky quarterback and needed to go, I think is the best way to put it. So Mike Evans, I think, grew a relationship with Jameis, so was able to, gauge how Jameis would play, how he can benefit off the way Jameis is risky. Mike Evans is a risky throw-up player. Throw up to him and he'll catch the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Mike Evans will have a solid season because he is one of the best receivers in the league. His big playability is able to defeat defenders any day. But with the new quarterback, you need to make a relationship with him. And Tom Brady has a pre-existing relationship with Rob Gronkowski. He will make a better relationship, at least from how I see him playing with other players, with Chris Godwin, because Tom Brady's never had a receiver where he could just chuck the ball upfield and the receiver will be there to catch it. Chris Godwin's a shorter type receiver, sort of like Julian Edelman. I think that those two will be Tom Brady's main targets this season. And Mike Evans will be a not-so-secret weapon, but he won't get the ball as much, and he'll score a lot of touchdowns. Because when he gets the ball, it will take teams by surprise.
Now going to Chris Godwin, their amazing receiver that they needed last year, catching for 1,333 yards, average of 15 yards per catch, and 9 touchdowns. So he caught even more than their star receiver, Mike Evans. So if you have a receiver that's catching 8 touchdowns and a receiver that's catching 9, that's good for Tom Brady and good for Jameis Winston. Chris Godwin was a smaller speed type player, as Mike Evans was kind of the one-on-one go up and catch the ball. And I feel like that's the dynamic on several teams in the NFL. And, when you have 2 receivers like that, but also good receivers like that, it's so hard to guard, especially when most teams in the NFL don't have 2 good corners. And regardless, one good corner who is good at, one-on-one coverage and can, like Jalen Ramsey, and can go up with tall receivers, and one that's fast and can cover receivers that, just like Tyreek Hill and like Chris Godwin, who can kind of blast down the field and are good route runners. Chris Godwin, really unexpected season. I don't think anybody was really expecting that. He was it was just shy of a shocking season. I think he really showed that in his Rams game, where I think he caught 2 or maybe even 3 touchdowns. I'm not totally sure. Really good late fantasy pickup. But yeah, Chris Godwin, oof, what a player he is.
Moving on to the outside linebacker, Pro Bowler star, Shaquille Barrett, 19 and a half sacks last year. That is ridiculous. That was the top.
I didn't even know that. Holy jeez.
Top sack number in the league. He had 54 combined tackles, 45 solo tackles. That is also ridiculous. It came from nowhere, almost like Chris Godwin. When he was at Denver in 2018, he was a mediocre to pretty bad linebacker. He came in there for depth. He took the spot and destroyed it. It was one of the most unexpected seasons of a player I've ever seen. He was first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, and he just got a huge contract extension. And he deserved it. We'll see if it's a one-season wonder type thing or something we'll have to look at for the future. And Shaquille Barrett, everyone is looking up to you, hoping you have another good season.
But now let's go to our next segment where we talk about free agency. Rob Gronkowski coming out of retirement and signing with the Buccaneers. First year, oh my God, Tom Brady just signed with the Buccaneers, and then Gronkowski comes out of retirement and signs with them. Obviously they're getting one of the best tight ends to ever play the game, but is he gonna be that next year? They have O.J. Howard, who they severely underused last year. So I feel like this might be – it could be good. I think him and O.J. Howard could make a good, duo for Tom Brady. But I think, the only reason Gronk came here is because of Tom Brady. I doubt he would have came if it was Jameis Winston was still here. So I think it was kind of, to pair up that deadly duo that has destroyed the NFL for so long in the playoffs with that New England team. I don't particularly like this. I don't think Gronk will be as good as people think. I think he's going to be sub 1,000 yard player, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. I thought he's come out of retirement, and Tom Brady also isn't going to be as good as people think next year. So I don't think it's going to match up to be as good of a season as people think. Now to our next player, we have Jameis Winston.
He was a top draft pick he was number 1 in 2015. We've seen quarterbacks play worse and reform their career. I agree that 30 interceptions is unacceptable and you do not deserve to be extended for that team. But he's a guy with very high upside, and I wouldn't quit on him just yet. just get ready. When Breeze retires, he is the rightful heir to that throne, and he will go on and play well, I think. I think I have a very different opinion than you on this guy.
So pick number 1, they took, and you even could consider stole Tristan Wirfs. If you guys haven't seen, we did an NFL draft video where we analyzed all the picks. So that was like one of our first videos. So make sure to go watch that. But Tristan Wirfs is a good offensive lineman, top tackle, and this is a pretty good tackle class. People were even considering, I'm a Giants fan. I would have been completely content if they had taken him at 4 instead of Andrew Thomas. But Tristan Wirfs is a really good quarterback. I think in the draft, after signing Tom Brady, number 1 priority is protecting him. You need to protect the aging quarterback like that because, one hit and that's it for his career. So, Tristan Wirfs hopefully is going to be able to defend that quarterback pretty well and kind of be a future tackle. And I think he's going to play really well. I like Tristan Wirfs a lot. I think he's a powerful tackle. So there's not much to say. I can't really say much about tackles. He's a top tackle in the class. I'm sure he's going to do well, and I believe that he will.
Yeah, he was a draft steal. I thought the Giants should have taken Wills, but once they took Thomas, I thought Tristan Wirfs would be taken by the Browns. They took Wills, so he fell down, and it was the right thing to do. They actually got traded down to get him, and it was a good thing for them. Nothing much else to say on him.
Yeah.
I don't know how to analyze offensive tackles very well.
Now let's go to our last part where we're going to talk about their records. So we both have the same record, so I'll go first and kind of explain why. I think people are hyping this team up and expecting them to have the best record in the league, which I completely understand why. I think, if they play and, gel, immediately or during off season, I don't think that's out of the window. But I think realistically they have not so great start to the season, but then pick it up near the end. I think they will make playoffs. I think they will be behind the Saints, but I think 9-7 for me. I think they're going to pick up, but some of those losses in the beginning is going to be dragging them down.
The Patriots have a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And minus Tom Brady, I think the Patriots are going to have a bad season because they don't have Tom Brady. But you can't go saying that a team is done and then the quarterback goes to another team and say they're going to win the Super Bowl. It has to go both ways. I think they go 9-7.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Bucks Room series. If you're new and watch till the end, what do you guys think? Would you want us to add anything about the teams? Did you enjoy? And we've done a lot of other teams, so go check out our other videos. I'll try and link them. But the Buster Room series for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, controversial team, and we're gonna try and keep you guys updated. Also, big announcement, not really, but so when football season comes around, we are going to start doing usually try and get a podcast in, like a full actual hour-long podcast, kind of analyzing each game and what we think about that week in the NFL. So, we're going to post on this channel. So if you want to, stop in and maybe watch, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, we'd love for you to do that. But yeah, it's just a kind of an announcement, just so you guys would know.
The whole thing. That would be nice.
Yeah, or watch the whole thing. That would be nice. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was the Buster Room series from the Esports Scoop, and we'll see you guys next time.